And we're about to kick it off with Yvonne Ting serving to Helen Wilhelm. Here we go. And back to regular scoring, by the way, not rally scoring.
Oh, what a great shot by Helen right there. Just hit the angle drop shot there against Scott. You know, it's amazing to me, and this is kudos to Scott Moore. He just got done playing in the singles gold championship match here, and he is right back out on the court playing in this match.
He told me the other day he's in the best fitness. He's got the best fitness in his whole career of pickleball in the last 6 years. He's in the best peak performance shape he's ever been in. So that's probably why he's fine with just turning right back around and running out there to play. So
I
kudos
remember
to
those
him.
days years and years ago for me.
I tell you,
you're in good shape.
I'm in good shape. I'm 35. I'm still in good shape. You know, but we talked about that earlier. That's one of my natural strengths. But
wow, what great defense by Scott Moore there. And then he goes ahead and aggressively puts the ball away. Good defense there. There's not much that Helen could do with that shot. Just try to defend it back.
Well, she defended like the first three, and then that last one, I think she just got caught up in it. But, yeah, Scott hits the ball extremely hard, so that ball is going to be hard to get back there sometimes. But, okay, there's a little fake there.
It's a nice shot by Steve. It's a really good angle with that dink. He put it back into Scott's backhand, and Scott was not able to get it back in on the court. So a nice positioning on Steve Kennedy's part.
Yep. And you see Steve had a closed fist there. And what that means is that they're not going to switch boxes.
A lot of strategy with pickleball. You're right. You can switch and stack a little bit. We've seen some of that earlier. Sometimes the men like to be on the power side of the court, which is the odd side. Even side being on the right-hand side, so they'll switch it around so that the men can play. And Scott likes to play on that side.
Yeah, well, and Yvonne is a lefty too, so that helps. They're going to stack probably with their forehands in the middle. Look at Yvonne with those quick hands.
Wow.
She's like a mousetrap, man. You trigger that button and she just fires off on it.
Not only is she so quick to defend that, but then she responds back with an even harder shot coming right back at you. So it's a great block. That time she went for a little bit of an angle and just a little bit too much. Ball hit at the end of the paddle.
Well, they brought the pace too, and it came off her paddle a little squirrely, a little wonky. I think Scott might have saved that, but neither here nor there. He saved it, but maybe it didn't matter because he's going to win that point either way. So I feel like his presence on the court in mixed doubles is very intimidating because he just kind of owns the whole court. And Yvonne may not be the tallest player, but she's scrappy and intense, and she plays her game. And she will lob, too, by the way.
Oh, yes, she will. And he does look taller next to Yvonne because you're right. He looks like he's about 7 foot tall out there in this court.
Yeah, either she looks shorter next to him or he looks a lot taller, either one. Maybe both.
Nice shot by Steve there. Just went right at her feet, and she was not able to pick it back up.
Yeah, Steve Kennedy and Helen playing great here early in this match. It's 2-1-1, just a slight advantage in the score. I think she saved him. But, you know, those are tough, Hollywood, because they're coming at you quick. They're at about knee level. And even though Steve Kennedy yelled out, it's right there for your
It's a little bit too late. If you think the ball might hit the line, you have to go ahead and hit it. You don't want to take a chance and let a ball go, especially when you're so good that, and she is, that she can hit those balls and get them back into play.
That's right. And Yvonne let that one go, guys. Helen hit that ball down to Yvonne's forehand. She let it go thinking it was going to go long and actually dropped in at the baseline. So good shot by Helen there. Also, little known fact about maybe Steve Kennedy, if you don't know about him, he was the top 200 tennis player in the world on the tour at one point. Obviously not anymore. He's playing pickleball now, but that just gives you the extensive background of Steve Kennedy. And when you see him do some of the stuff he does on the court, you'll know why. I actually thought he should have come up and attacked that ball after he drove the first one because Yvonne honestly was still transitioning from the return. And I think he had a chance to attack and clean up that ball, but
oh, what a great two-handed backhand there by Helen. That was
just nasty.
Incredible shot. She was ready for it. She was coming in and put that ball away, and Scott wasn't able to handle it.
Scott and Helen seem to have great communication. You know, he's talking to her. It's not very loud. I mean, I can kind of hear it, but he just kind of says little spurts to her. I don't know what they exactly talk about, but I can tell he's very good with his communication and just maybe he's saying things like, keep doing that, that's working. let's do this, let's switch that up. But you know, she's just a fireball. She's playing her game. And Helen, if there's one thing I know about Helen, she likes to rip the ball. # rip it.
Yeah, she does. She's and she's really good at driving the ball like that. Again, that tennis background, kind of used to doing that. There's another really good drive and pop up.
Right.
And she's very aggressive, and she's just really on it right now. She's feeling it and playing very well. And well, they're calling a timeout because they're feeling the same thing that we're seeing here. Steve and Helen are on a roll.
It's crazy though, because it doesn't feel like it should be 5-1 because Yvonne and Scott are actually playing well, but just right now in the early running, it's Steve and Helen that have got the upper hand with their aggressive play and taking advantage of some opportunities that they've gotten early. But
yeah, I'd say right now it's just favoring. I think Helen's being the dominating factor here with their two-handed backhand. She's driving the ball. It's a little bit more of a power game. We're not seeing so much of the dink game going on right now. Wind is a little bit of a factor. Not much. It's not gusting or anything, but it's definitely a little bit of wind going at Scott and Yvonne. Sun really isn't a factor. There's cloud coverage right now, so it's really perfect pickleball weather. They're just playing so well right now. They're on a roll.
I don't think Steve even really wanted our advice.
No, he just asked me if there's anything he could change, and
he's just feeling some dead air.
I think he's feeling
there.
happy that they're up 5-1 right now.
Oh, certainly. They don't need to change anything about what they're doing. Helen is absolutely on fire right now. She's playing lights out, and I
think Steve's just sitting back watching her play right now as he's enjoying it. Drive by Steve, and then now we're going to nope. Really not seeing a soft game, and Yvonne winces on that shot. It was a nice shot right into her wheelhouse, and she just hit it into the net. They're starting to feel a little bit of trying to force the issue right now, and nope. We got some. Well, we're escorting some people out right now, and having a slight timeout. Okay, now we're back into action here. There we go into a little bit. Again, they're just not doing much of the dinking game at all, so it's more an aggressive style, and I think the aggressive style right now is favoring Steve and Helen.
Well, based on the score, it certainly is, and I love how Steve and Helen are having a great time. They're laughing, they're cutting up. When you're playing loose and free like that, you're going to win points a little easier, and it's going to feel a little more relaxing. So I like it. Oh, there's Scott coming alive right there.
That's vintage Scott Moore right there.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we need.
He drives the ball. He puts you in a position to where you've got to pop the ball back up, and then he puts it away for a winner.
Yeah, I mean, we need to see more of that right there by Scott.
It's a rare miss by Helen right there. So, again, being very aggressive, but that's what got them to this point so far.
I think Scott just rushed that a tad. And, you know, I mean, that's going to happen sometimes, even at the pro level. These guys aren't perfect. They're going to make mistakes, and that was one of them. But at least this isn't rally scoring, so that didn't cost him a side out and a point.
There's another long one right there. Steve's questioning the referee whether he saw it out or not, and he couldn't confirm it, so the call stands as being out. And they're downwind just a little bit, and the wind may have pushed that just enough. Yeah, good conversations between these two. Steve and Helen are talking it out. They're figuring out their strategy pretty much after every point, so it's real good talk.
Man, Steve's drive is really good.
Not sure what the call was there.
Not sure. Looked like Helen and Steve disagreed with the call. The ref obviously not going to get involved. He didn't see it apparently, but
a couple nice blocks.
Great job by Helen there to reset. She's got game.
Oh, look at that, Yvonne Ting. That is so good.
I think that out call fired up Steve and Helen just a little bit.
Oh, that hit the line.
That's
What do you call?
well, he called it out, but I think there's a little gamesmanship right there. You know, those are close calls. They could go either way. That's all I'm going to say about that. Ref didn't see it. Scott appealed. Nothing Scott can do about it. We're going to play on. 9-4-1. Little exciting game.
It's a great game. I'll tell you what, Yvonne Ting right there had 4 or 5 shots in a row where she was in a mid-court position, which is a very tough position to be in, and she defended that ball and blocked it right back into the kitchen. Played very, very well, and that's one of her strengths. Little confusion out here. Now we've got it accurate. All right, a couple points in a row there. They're thinking about maybe calling a timeout. Steve says, let's wait one more point to see. Yvonne says sorry about that. She popped it up, and Steve hits Scott with a shot, so.
We call that a body shot in pickleball.
It's kind of fun, like a bonus point. You almost want to get a bonus point
You
for
should
that.
get at least like a half a point extra.
I've been hit so many times that I just I'm used to that. So again, I'm like Scott Moore's size, so he doesn't get hit nearly as often as I do. But when you're a bigger player, sometimes they'll target your body.
Yeah, you're a bigger target. It makes sense, actually. Yvonne Ting's not going to get hit as many times as somebody that's 6'5".
There again.
Boy, we're getting a little bit of back and forth here. I think this is like a tag you're it type of situation going on right here.
Good
What do you think, Eddie?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely been a lot of back and forth here. Both teams seem to be dialed in and aggressive.
Tag you're it.
Tag you're it, yeah.
That was
I like
about
it.
2 or 3 right in a row where they were trying to hit more than the purple court.
That's right. Maybe that should be used as the tiebreaker. Right. We'll add
Butts up pickleball.
That's right.
Good timeout right here now. So Helen's coming over, talk to her husband, get a little advice to see what he has seen, and Steve's come over to listen in. So coaching's okay. During a timeout, you can get some advice, maybe see something going on out there.
Yeah, we had a close one here. It's a 2-point differential. Wilhelm and Kennedy started out strong at 5-1. Ting and Moore crawled back in it and have brought it within 2, but the advantage still to Steve and Helen, 9-7-2.
I'll say thank you to Ed Johnson out here for refereeing. It is not an easy thing to do, refereeing these games out here. So thank you to all the volunteers and the officials that are helping make this World Pickle Championship such a great event and donating their time to come out here and do an excellent job.
Yeah, they've been working tirelessly, that's for sure.
All right, 9-7-2. Yeah, a lot of credit to those refs. I mean, I think Jack's voice was almost gone by the end there. He did like 16 matches in a row. They're recognizing that Helen is liking the drive, and because Yvonne is able to see that ball coming at her pretty good, I think she's just ducking out of the way. Scott's doing a good job of letting her know that ball's out. Helen going for the ref there. Is that a extra point there for? 7-10-2. It's a big series right here for them. They need to score a couple. There you go. There's 8.
Scott was ready for that one. Hit a really nice backhand shot right back at Helen, and she hit it into the net. So they're playing pretty steady, really. It's just that I think Helen was on fire earlier. And that's what got them off to an early start.
Right. Oh, look at Steve coming all the way over there.
Oh,
That's too good.
Scott does the same thing. The men
that's
are
not coming back.
taking control of the court.
I love when the guys start getting involved like that and the ball starts getting pushed across the net. Scott just doing a little better job there of the poaching. Steve and Helen, yeah, they've got the wind behind them. She just told them, it's hard with the wind, but they got to slow it down a little bit. They're getting a little too aggressive when they're not serving. And it's costing them some points here. It's now 10-10.
Oh.
All right. So this is game point on the paddle of Yvonne Ting and Scott Moore. Boy, the tides have turned here. Down early, crawled back in it. Now they've taken the lead. They seem to be playing a lot better all of a sudden here.
Oh.
I think he had to make the decision. Well, he had to make the decision, and I think he rushed it a little bit. He was kind of concerned about the sideline.
She tried to throw up a lob that didn't go up at all, and she thought she was going to get punished for it, and Scott just missed an easy one. So.
Actually, I thought she hit a good lob from the standpoint of it was to his backhand, and it was down the line. So I think his hesitation was because he didn't know if he should let it bounce and potentially go out. But she did think she was going to get blasted, I'm sure. Typically,
it's
Scott
one of those
would.
Oh no shots.
I think there's another word that sometimes they use,
Yes.
but we won't go there.
This is a rated PG
live
stream.
Eddie and Webby's show is PG over here at the Pickleball Championships. 11-10-2. Steve and Helen have to hold one more time here, which they did.
Oh, they did.
Right on cue.
Great defensive block there by Helen.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought. Now it's 11-10-2. I apologize. Okay.
Okay, that was a nice setup shot by Helen. She hit the ball right down there at Yvonne's feet. Yvonne popped it up, and then Steve was able to put it away. So it's one of those thank you, partner.
Well, this is the opportunity they've been wanting right here. Wow. Rare miss return there. He owes Yvonne a sundae from McDonald's.
That's right.
Not sure he's aware of that, but we'll let him know after.
I think the Newman rule should apply to
Everybody. Across the board.
That one was the wind. It helped. Ball went out on the serve. The wind picked up and gusted just a little bit right at the serve and blew the ball out. What a battle right here. So early lead to begin with by Steve and Helen, and Scott and Yvonne came back, and now we've got a tight game. Oh, really nice position shot by Steve. Steve went to Scott's backhand there. He kind of acted like he was going to go cross court and flipped it right off. So it was a very nice shot. Steve getting an indication he doesn't want to switch on the return of serve this time. Going to stay.
Boy, good discipline by Helen there.
She was ready to attack.
Well, Steve was ready to tackle her too if she hit that. So I think she knew what was going to happen there. It's not the ball you want to put up to Scott Moore's backhand for sure. I think she was trying to maybe rush that ball to get it down the line before he got over there, but they get one more shot at it. Boy, that is a nasty drive shot right there.
That was a great shot.
That's a passing shot from about 23 feet back.
To do that against Scott Moore with his wingspan, that's amazing. He caught him just trying to transition by cover more of the court and went right by him.
Really good play there.
Okay, that's
good game one.
Wow.
That's a good game one right there.
That really was. Very well played by both teams.
You talk about a back and forth. That's what you call back and forth. I mean, both teams at some point had the lead, and down the stretch, it was Steve Kennedy and Helen Wilhelm that just were a little too much. But guess what, guys? That's only game one.
That's right.
I have a feeling Scott Moore is going to get a lot more active and aggressive in game two. He sat back a little more than I'm used to seeing Scott Moore sit back, and he was feeling out the situation. I think now they lost game one, 13-11. he's going to come out in game 2 and just try to get his paddle on literally every ball that he can.
Yeah, I think they did a good job of reading that. Helen Wilhelm she was loving that drive shot. And so they were ready. They were ready to read it and say, get out of the way or block it back. And they were prepared for it. And I feel like they might be reassessing, Steve and Helen, should she switch it up a little bit? Because if they get too used to that, should she try to soften it up a little bit? We'll see, I guess.
That's a great point.
Well, they're over there getting a little bit of coaching, and they're trying to come up with a bit of a game plan. Now they're switching sides, so they will have the wind with them. We'll see if that makes any difference or not. But this game of streaks, Helen started out really on fire, got him off to a nice 5-1 early start, and Scott and Yvonne just kept grinding it out. And that's part of their makeup. They're just such good defenders. So you just never know in this crazy game. You can be up a lot of points and lose it, or vice versa. So we'll see if Scott does become a little bit more aggressive and take on more of the court. And we'll see if Steve and Helen do anything differently.
15 seconds. Time in. Game 2. Here's your pick.
That is some great defense. 3 defensive plays in a row. Couldn't get the 4th one, but just stand there against Scott Moore and do that time after time again.
Well, what I loved is they attacked Scott first, and he turned defense into offense the second he had the opportunity to do that, and that's why they won that point. Again, I think Scott, he's going to touch the ball a lot more here in game 2.
Yeah, he's going to need to take a little bit more aggressive
approach.
Here.
Sure, of course.
Yvonne is one of the best defensive players out there. She's not really an offensive player, so I think he's going to need to come over and take more shots like that. But,
that one clipped off the net. Kind of caught Helen there, but Scott's there to clean up the mess, and I think he would appreciate a few more of those lollipops.
Yeah. That's a good way to describe it.
Already we're seeing a difference from game 1 to game 2. The aggressive play, I think Yvonne and Scott are ready for now. They've adjusted. They're in the mindset that it's going to be there, and that they're going to push the pace. And I think Scott's honestly going to try to just crowd that middle like that right there and stay involved. Which I don't want to sound like I know what I'm talking about, but I think just before the match started I said Scott's going to try to touch the ball a lot more, and here we are, 4-0.
Are you tooting your own horn right now? Yeah.
Well, I thought you guys might give me a little credit there, but I was going to have to.
We knew you were going to be patting your own back.
Eddie, I got to say that Golden Boy was right on this when he called us out before the match even started.
I know.
He said Scott was going to touch the ball more.
And now they're up 4-0. And thank you guys for mentioning that after I brought it up. So, well done, fellas. Well done.
We got your back.
Hey, we are so on cue with that. So you just.
Well, I don't like to just be obvious about stuff, but I was waiting for my boys to get my back, and y'all were just sitting there in the vow of silence, and I'm thinking, okay, now I guess I'm just going to have to toot my own horn.
Eddie winked at me and said, hey, watch, Scott's going to toot his own horn if he just gives a chance.
Well, the Golden Boy needs a little pat on the back every once in a while, So if I can't get it from my boys to my left and my right, I'm just going to go ahead and do it myself. Here we go. You can't see it on video, but that's what I did. I patted myself.
He literally was patting his own back there.
That was bad. That was actually, I was supposed to do it on the other side, actually, so I kind of looked silly doing that. But nonetheless, I was right on my observation. It's 5-0. And the thing about last game, or the first game, was that Scott Moore and Yvonne Ting were never out of that game. They just got down early. But now we're starting to see a little more dominating performance from Scott Moore. He does what he does best. Which is get involved. That one was going to be out, but he hit it so hard. Yvonne actually I think she just closed her eyes.
Yeah.
Quite honestly.
Steve's got some of the best reflexes in the game, and he can snap that ball down just as you saw right there. There's no way that ball was going to come back. Not sure if it's an advantage or not here with this win or not, but we've seen both times now that the team that started with this side is off to a great start.
That's true. The 5-1 and the 5-0 advantage on both games have been on this side. Boy, I tell you, these senior pros, they make the games exciting, don't they?
They really do.
I feel like, and I could be wrong because I'm not a senior pro, but like I feel like they have a little bit of a chip on the shoulder. Like, hey, we're not 6 feet under yet. We're still here and we're still making waves. And I personally love to see it. I love to watch it.
Yeah, this is my first time getting a chance to see Steve and Helen play together live, and they're a force to be reckoned with. That's for sure. Ooh.
Oh, what a great lob by Scott Moore there.
Well, that was an excellent lob by Scott, but also I just want to point out that Steve was off balance. He was jumping off his right foot, which is not ideal. So Scott, the combination of Scott actually putting up a good lob and Steve being on his off foot, it was a success. I think we're seeing a much different game in game 2 here. It's 6-0. And the confidence just looks much different here on this side. I think Steve just said something to the effect of, let's get it to Yvonne's backhand is what I think he said. I mean, I'm not 100% sure, but he's trying to get it over there. Yeah, see that? See, I'm not crazy, guys. That was a roll from the forehand to her backhand. That's not an accident. I think they just had some success with that right before that. He said something to her, and all of a sudden Helen unloads a roll to the backhand of Yvonne. So,
hey, Golden Boy, can you write down the lottery numbers for me? I want to get those right here.
Well, I'm just trying to get a little appreciation over here from a little love from you guys, but anyway, I'm just kidding. No, I mean, look, we're seeing a great game right now, 6-0. You don't get the feeling that Helen and Steve are totally concerned yet that they're down 6-0.
Oh, wow. Oh, Yvonne says sorry about that. She popped it up, and Steve made her pay for it.
Well, but the next thing was that Scott Moore was trying to tell her it was out, and she still hit the next one. And I think that's why he was a little frustrated because technically he blasted it at her, but she should have let it go, I think. That's Scott getting a little too involved, I think.
That's a nice drive by Helen. We need to see more of that.
Yeah, she hits a really, really strong drive shot.
There it is again.
Yeah, she doesn't like to dink a whole lot, does she?
No.
And even her dinking's like revved up like 6th gear.
It's interesting. We have not really seen the dink battle going on with these senior pro match right here.
No, I actually think Yvonne would love to get in some dink battles, but no can do right now with these other 3 players on the court. They all tend to push pace.
Wow.
I think
some great play, some good patience, positioning the paddle, and then hitting the right ankle.
I think there's just a lot of pressure on the one player that likes to dink more, and the other 3 are just ripping and running. And what happened there? I think they had a little talk about that, but that looked like Steve's forehand, but Helen might have jumped in the way a little bit there and assisted him. Either way, it was a point. She says no right there because I think she realized that ball was too low for her to drive.
Right. She's been on a roll with the drive, and she just tried to take a ball that really shouldn't have been driven at that time. The ball never really came up.
Oh, what a lob.
Wow. That just looked out.
Yeah, that ball was in.
Okay.
That ball definitely a hit. I mean, it might have been on the outside perimeter of the line.
Good eyes by the official Ed Johnson out there, and they appealed it to the referee, and he made the call.
And Ed probably had the best view in the house, right? He's looking straight down that line here. Yvonne's running. Scott's a little bit back, so.
I think a timeout would be in order right now, but.
Yeah, absolutely, boy.
Oh,
you're just
goodness.
on it. Look at you.
Well, I do what I can. I actually think that they were up 6-0, now it's 6-4. And so that's a great timeout because they still have the lead. Even though it feels like the momentum swung big time, if they really stop and think about it, they're up 6-4 in the second game. They only lost 13-11 in game 1, so really no need to panic here. I think they just got to go back to what they were doing in the beginning to get up 6-0. This continuing to grind away. I think they do need to slow the ball down a little bit. Helen and Steve actually prefer for that ball to be sped up, I think. especially Helen.
That does seem to fit more into their game right now. They're aggressive. They're playing really good. I think both teams. It's a game of spurts right now. We've seen the first match was kind of the same way. One team would get up, next team would come back, and we're starting to see that again. So they're trying to figure it out here. Not seeing the soft game come into play, so we may just continue. I kind of enjoy this, though. I like the way it's being aggressive. I think pickleball in general is going more and more towards a faster, more aggressive. Even with the regular pro players, the younger players are being aggressive on their dinks, and they don't do the 12, 15 dinks anymore. They're just attacking.
Yes, I certainly agree with that assessment of pickleball, and I like it too. From a viewing standpoint, it's perfect.
Oh, wow, that is a great shot by Steve Kennedy there into the corner. Nice deep return by Scott, and he came over and took it away from Yvonne. Now, the good and the bad here is they've got their forehands to the middle, and Yvonne was trying to swing at that time at the same time that Scott was trying to swing at it. So a little confusion on their part.
I think Steve wants that one back.
Yeah, he normally doesn't miss that. It's right in his sweet spot. It's a nice forehand. He had it shoulder high, and he just let up a little bit too much. He's trying to get the angle on it.
6-7-1.
Okay, there's that little two-handed backhand. Looks like he was going to dink it, and then he just came over the top of it, pressured Helen to a mistake.
Yeah, he just ripped it into her body from below the net. Very well done. So that's the kind of game that Yvonne wants to play right there. Just a nice controlled game.
The net cost her there. It hit the top of the net and then kicked it right out of bounds.
Well, I think we see there exactly from that point. That's why Helen doesn't want to enter the dink game. She knows she'll get outplayed.
Absolutely.
Yeah, her game is so strong by driving the ball that you might as well go with your strengths. Good point.
8-7-2.
That's another one Steve wanted back. Made a comment. The fans are laughing at it because he knows he should not have missed that one. Helen giving him some paddle love there. Say, hey, it's okay, partner.
9-6-2.
What a great save by Yvonne on that shot. Steve hit a nice shot. Oh, Steve's backhand got Scott right in the chest. Another body shot. That's like 3 times he's hit him. Oh, what a great defensive shot by Yvonne. Crowd's clapping for that. It was a great drive by Steve, and Yvonne was ready for it and hit the open court.
7-9-2.
There was a miss. They questioned Ed, and he confirmed that the ball was out, so it's a point for Steve and Helen. They're climbing back into this.
8-9-2.
Oh, that's a great defensive off the net that Yvonne did, and then Steve was able to continue the pressure and get the point. Really quick hands by Yvonne there. Scott giving her the signal that he's not going to switch after the return of serve. And we've got a timeout here.
9-9-2.
Timeout at 9-9-2.
This feels like a gold medal match right now, doesn't it?
It really does. Yeah, just both teams are this could easily be a gold medal match. It's a close game. They're both playing very, very well, having some great defensive stances. I've had the opportunity to play, of course, in the senior pro level with these guys, and I love it. It's just nice to be able to compete, and I love playing against the golden boy, but he's just, sometimes the younger players are just too quick, so I like having my own age group to play with, and it just feels like you've got a fair chance playing against Scott Golden out there, running around the court so quick.
Eddie, don't let him fool you. He's beat me many times on the court. Beat me like a drum.
A lot more pickleball to come here. We've got more matches, so if you're local, you want to get out here, come on out and watch this. It's a great day to see some pickleball up front and close.
Yeah, and I want to give a shout out to my boys at the farm in Canton, Georgia. Pickleball Paradise. If you're watching out there, I'm glad you guys are tuning in. Got Dan Ross watching live.
Scott went for the angle there and just missed it. Big point there for Steve and Helen. Steve came across and tried to finish it with a big drive there and couldn't quite get it over the net. So now it's up to Yvonne and Scott to see if they can bring this home. Oh, what a great shot by Steve Kennedy there. Just brought it across there, and as Golden Boy pointed out earlier, went right after Yvonne's backhand.
There's my shout out. Thank you, Hollywood.
If you make his head any bigger, it won't fit in this tent here.
Well, I did just get scolded too, but so it came down before that.
Hey, you're excited. It's easy to get excited in this match.
No, it is. No, and part of it is, even my ex-wife told me I was loud when I was talking on the phone. Why are you always yelling into the phone? I don't know. It's just who I am. But yeah, I mean, I think these matches are great, and I get excited, man. I love pickleball. Oh, the fans even feeling the intensity and excitement of this match.
Timeout, score timeout, 10-1.
Call another timeout here. Yvonne realizing what she did there, she just needed to extend her shot a little bit more, just shook her head yes on that. Steve's coming over, rubs her shoulders a little bit, say, hey, everything's all right.
Gotta love that.
Such good camaraderie amongst these players and everything. It's just a lot of fun, and even though you're competing against someone across the net, you can still have a lot of fun, and they certainly do show that here, and the fans see that, and they appreciate it, and it's a fun sport. It's a very social sport, but yet it can be very, very competitive, but you can still keep the fun factor at a high level.
Yeah, definitely. And I don't know if you guys have even seen this, but the legendary Brian Staub is straight across from us in the stands. This guy has been all over pickleball for years and years, and he's got his signature cut-off sleeves with his tattoos all over his arms, and the guy's an absolute stud. And he's playing with Scott Moore a little bit later, I think, in men's doubles senior pro. And I'm just excited we have a guy like Brian Staub here. He's been around the game a long time. Savvy veteran player. Oh man, Steve got to that ball with time and just came up a little short, but great effort there.
Yeah, kudos to Brian Staub over there. He's got such a nice player as well. So a great athlete. I played against him in the U.S. Open last year, and you talk about a nice guy, friendly, so good. And sit here and watch these players, and so come on out here and talk to some of these players. Take your picture with them, whatever. Just they're all willing to do that, which I like about this event. They're all reachable.
Yeah, certainly. And I actually know for a fact that Brian Staub was one of the first commentators to commentate at the original first U.S. Open in Naples, and he was one of the originals. So I think we might try to get him out here on the mic and see what he's got to say.
Oh, very well played match there. Going to Scott and Yvonne.
Well, guess what? We're going to have a game 3.
2 minutes between games.
I think the fans always love game 3s. We certainly do here in the booth. It's more time for us to break down the game of pickleball with each other.
You know, yesterday we were doing the games, and I don't recall that we had any of them go into extended play. And here we've had our first game do that earlier. So I really enjoy when the games are close. Then you can see the pressure on these players and how well they come through. I think any player that's been out there before knows what it's like when it's 9-10 or 10-8 and you're serving trying to come back. It's just a little bit of extra pressure on you. Well, both teams are getting a little bit of coaching here on the sidelines, trying to figure out what they want to try to do. In this third and final game, they've had a chance now to figure out their opponents, what they feel their strengths might be and their weaknesses might be, and see if there's anything that they want to try to do. But I believe both teams have won that have played with the wind, so we'll see if that's going to, again, be a factor or not. And the team that has started out with a big lead seemed to be able to hold on and continue and pull out the victory. Thanks to all our sponsors that are out there. If you get a chance to see who those sponsors are, there's too many of them for us to name, but we do appreciate the support that they're giving us and making this World Pickleball Championship a classic event here. And some of the best players in the world have come out here to play, and the fans certainly appreciate it. We really appreciate it. We appreciate Eddie and Webby for putting in the time and effort and doing all this, because it is a lot of extra work, and we really appreciate the ability to come out here and do this so that the people that aren't here can still have a taste of pickleball and get a chance to see this.
That's why we do it. We want to make sure that the world can see the amazing talent we have out here. It's why we keep doing it.
That's right. And these matches in the Senior Pro Division have been phenomenal. 13-11 in Game 1, Wilhelm Kennedy. 12-10 in Game 2, Ting and Moore. And now we're going to battle it out here on the courts in Punta Gorda at the PicklePlex for Game 3.
The longest dink battle we've seen so far between these two teams.
Oh, nice lob.
Oh, what a great lob.
I almost felt that he was going to hit that lob just because the way the ball came over the net. It was kind of short and up close to the net. And Steve's a really savvy player. He's a very smart player. He just took it and flipped it up over.
Well, he uses that lob to his advantage, I think more so than a lot of players out there, and he's so good at it.
Yeah, certainly he is. And I got to tell you, when you see a guy like Steve, after he went through what he did a couple years ago where he was in the hospital for a while and wasn't sure if he was going to get to play pickleball again, and then now he's out here and he's competing at the highest level again and winning. I think he won nationals last year, not this 2019, but 2018 I believe he won nationals. So it's always awesome to see stories like that, and he looks great, playing great. And he's always got a great personality out on the court, smiling and cutting up.
He likes to have fun with the game. Life is not that serious, and he's just really bringing a good sense of humor to the game, and we enjoy that because he can play it, compete with it, and still have a good time with it.
Yeah, certainly.
You can see right there he's very supportive, telling his partner, hey, that's okay, just keep playing hard. And Helen just hit that one out. And
I think they're going after Helen just a little bit right here. She seems to be in a little bit of a struggle fest here, a little bit of a lull, and she's gonna reel it back in. But she's definitely, there's 2 unforced errors there in a row, and see if she can get that handled there.
yeah, I think you're right. They're attacking her a little bit, and I think that's their game plan right now is go to Helen, and it seems to be working right now.
Yeah, early lead for Scott Moore. I think Scott got a little excited there. He normally won't miss that ball, but I think he kind of got there too quick actually, and then he
right in his strike zone. He wanted to really pounce on that, and just was a little bit overly anxious.
Good discipline by them to let it go too.
Oh, what a nice drive by Steve Kennedy there, just barely over the net, dropping it, and Yvonne wasn't able to come up with it.
Yeah, it changed elevation, and she did a kind of a half swinging volley there, and it kind of dipped into the net. There you go. Boy, Helen's got some fierce defense.
And, you know, she's not afraid to go at Scott Moore either. She's just bringing that ball right back at him.
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree. She's not afraid at all and not intimidated in the slightest. But I got to tell you, it's fun to watch her play defense when Scott's pounding on that ball like that, just ripping at her. I think they're starting to pick up on a trend here, and they're letting a lot of her drives go now.
Yeah, it seemed like she was doing that a lot in game one. Kind of, you know, stopped a little bit in game two, played it a little softer, and just going back to what she's comfortable with.
We're seeing some more dinking here, Hollywood. The first two games we didn't see much of it, but
yeah, it's kind of interesting, and I actually like it. I think it's a good. They need to test this out a little bit just to see.
yeah, it doesn't take long for one of them to speed it up, though. Actually, right there, Yvonne sped it up first, and she ended up losing that point. Boy, I tell you, that's some good defense.
Wow,
but
what a great angle by Steve.
yeah, ultimately, when Steve gets his paddle on it like that and goes that direction, it's going to be tough.
You know, when he's at the kitchen line like that, you just don't know what angle he's going to put on it because he's so good. He could pretty much pick any spot, and that's what makes him such a great player.
Yeah, he's got it going on right there. Scott tried to grab it with his backhand, but no can do. Look at the attack mode.
There it is.
Yvonne's playing great defense, but she did lift that last one, and Steve continued to move forward, and then he just moved it over to Scott's backhand.
Kept working his way in and eventually got the shot. He wanted to put it away. Oh, Yvonne, what a great backhand right at Helen's feet.
I think that's what she does really well. She has like a little pop shot. That backhand, she kind of sits on it and pops it and rolls it at you right there. That's a great drive. Unfortunately, Yvonne was ready, and Steve hit that next one long. What a drop.
Oh, a nice third shot drop by Yvonne, and caught Steve with a little short hop, and he wasn't able to get up and over the net. Oh, that's a second one there. Yep. He's making fun of his own shot there and realizes he should not have missed that.
All right, so we've got 4-4-1 here. Oh, that's too good.
What a great position by Scott.
Yeah,
Moore
Scott
there.
just set up camp right there, and when Steve tried to poach and take it to his backhand, he just stayed steady on it and put it back across his body.
That ball actually hit my foot.
Oh.
Ball in the booth.
Ball in the booth.
Way to get in the game there, Eddie.
I know.
Oh man, Scott got what he wanted there. He's gonna have nightmares over that one right there. He certainly wants that ball back. I love how consistent Yvonne is with her drops. Everything she does is smooth.
Yeah, she really does have a nice soft game.
Mm-hmm.
And right there was a good example where they just continue to press the shots towards Yvonne. Oh, again, I've seen that shot. Scott Moore, backhand, angled it down.
I don't know about you guys, but I don't know if they should continue to hit to Scott Moore's backhand for the time being.
I would keep it away from that.
Oh, Scott came over to try to get aggressive and couldn't quite get over far enough, and that affected Yvonne's shot. So he hit it into the net. Looks like Scott's trying to take control of this game right now, becoming more aggressive. Wow, very well played by Helen there. She attacked Scott more. He defended it back nicely, and then she went back at it one more time.
Steve Kennedy being Steve. He says, was it one eye?
Yeah,
That
one
was
eye or
good?
two.
Right.
He said good eye. He says that, one eye or two eyes. So he's quick-witted, having a lot of fun out here.
I think the ability to engage the crowd and a fan or even the announcers during a heated match in Game 3 is a special talent.
I think it's a reflection on the state that he likes to be in during play. You can tell that him and Helen, this is Steve Kennedy and Helen Wilhelm, they like to keep it loose. They like to have fun. They're smiling. They're laughing. That's their style. That works for them.
Absolutely, it works for them.
It's a little bit different, obviously, with Scott Moore and Yvonne Ting. They're a little bit more serious. There's a few more I'm sorries and just a little bit more in level of intensity with them.
Agreed. Yeah,
But not one isn't right and one's wrong. It just happens to be their own personal style.
that's right. I'm glad you pointed that out. And I think Scott, he's at his best when he's intense.
Mm-hmm.
And when he brings out that in competitive intensity.
I think the wind grabbed that ball just a little bit.
Yeah,
bit, yeah.
maybe.
Out of his reach.
Let's not make too many excuses. That ball should have been let go. He never should have even tried to hit that ball. Probably the wind did affect it a little, but Scott had no business trying to grab that ball. I think he was trying to save that lady in the stands from getting hit.
Such a gentleman.
All right, Steve. Helen says, you don't have to scare me.
That's cute.
Steve Kennedy says, no, yelled at her. No. So I said, no, you don't have to scare me.
She's adorable. She's adorable. You don't have to scare me. I peed my pants a little.
Oh, he's talking to the
Wet my
stands.
britches. That's good, man. That's why you got to love Steve Kennedy.
Yeah, such a great attitude. Lots of fun engaging the stands in this match and so forth.
I don't know what happened there. I believe that ball might have kicked on him a little bit, and I don't know. He's still engaging the crowd, which I love. You guys know I don't have a problem with that right there. The ability to laugh at yourself and make it fun it's an art. And he comes right back with that right there.
He certainly turned into the crowd favor here because of that.
Oh, he's always playing to the crowd, and I think the crowd senses that about certain players, that they're willing to engage them, and what a special gift we have there. We got it.
Wow.
Oh.
Scott covered just about over half the court there with a forehand, backhand, playing really, really good, really good defense there, and aggressive shots.
That referee technically should not have caught that ball. I know that he did, and nobody said anything, but he's got to be smarter than that. What if Yvonne tries to attack that ball for some reason?
Yep.
And wants to hit it out of the air? You never know. I just wanted to say that, he probably shouldn't have grabbed that.
The reflex.
Yeah, certainly it's not a big deal, but
Oh, what a great shot by Helen there. Went down the alley. Scott was trying to take on more of the court, and she sensed that and put it right in on the alley side. It's a great shot.
Well, I certainly think when you're playing somebody like Scott Moore, who's such a big presence, and he's long and he's tall and athletic, your game plan has to be to go behind him at some point.
It's smart to do that, yes.
It is, and not overdo it,
honest.
but just at the right times. Pick the right shots to go behind him, because he's leaning a lot to the middle there.
Oh, what a setup. Steve set himself up with that shot. Hit it down.
Helen refused to get out of the way right there. Did you see that?
No.
She kind of stopped his momentum a little bit. They're characters, those two.
Oh, yeah.
He bumped into her. She refused to get out of the way, and then he pretended to give her a little kiss on the cheek, like a fake smooch. And she was having none of it.
That was a nice drive by Helen. That's where her game is at, just about an inch over the net. Nice forward drive. And again, good defense by Yvonne. Tough one there. That was right in between Steve and Helen, and the ball ended up going to the net. So that does happen when you're playing very aggressively like Steve is doing right now. Well, it looked good to begin with on that lob, but the wind grabbed it and just pushed it out a little bit.
8-9-2.
Another close match, which we've had the first two matches identical to this one. So.
Point.
Checking the ball right now to make sure there's no cracks in it.
9-9-2.
Tie ball game right now, just like the other two. It's coming down to the last couple points. Oh, great defense. Wow. Two good defensive stabs there, and they just couldn't get the third one in there. Steve Kennedy put that ball away. So good at that shot. I've seen players before miss that easy shot like that just because they look up, and he kept his eyes on it and executed the shot. So close. Steve Kennedy said just another inch over the net. All right, Scott defending those drives very nicely.
Another nail biter here in game 3, 9-9-1.
Helen backing up a little bit, throws up a lob, and not deep enough, and Yvonne puts it away.
Ten-9-1.
10-9-1. You can feel the pressure mounting.
There's another lob, and out it goes.
10-9-2.
Yvonne shaking her head no. She says, no, don't do that.
They get
Mad at herself a little bit.
They get one more shot at it here. It's 10-9-2.
Right server, the score is 10. 10-9-2.
Oh, wow. Okay.
All right.
We got another chance now. That's what Steve and Helen wanted.
9-10-1.
It's a lot of fun here, these close games.
I got to point out,
players respond.
I feel like everybody's on the edge of their seat now, just
Oh,
waiting
certainly.
to see what's going on, and that's what I love about these medal matches is everybody's getting into it. The crowd is, the stands are jam packed. Everybody's just kind of right there, waiting on the edge of their seats.
I 100% agree. Man, that's just too good by Scott Moore.
Wow.
Able to hold his ground there. Ultimately turning that defense into offense and putting that ball away.
10-9-1.
I love just the quick
Fantastic.
frustration
Yep.
hit, and then she's smiling. She's good.
She's all
Oh,
smiles.
that was
yeah.
awesome. The fans are standing up and clapping. Just an excellent match between these two teams.
How can you not love a finals in the senior pro mix right there? Game 3, 11-9.
Yeah, that was absolutely amazing.
All right, guys, we're live here for an interview with Steve Kennedy and Helen Wilhelm. Guys, that was an awesome match. What a nail-biter. You guys came up just short in Game 3 right there, but the fans were engaged. They were watching every point intently. What was that like to be a part of the inaugural World Pickleball Championship gold medal match at the senior pro level?
Go ahead, young Helen.
Oh, it was a blast. It's my first time playing with Steve, and he's a jokester the whole time. So he was jabbing, and I was jabbing back.
I love it. Steve, how do you stay so calm and relaxed during the heat of battle? You're engaging the fans, engaging your partner there. What's that like to be in the moment there?
Well, it's an honor to be here, and there's bigger things in life than pickleball. And so, if you come out here and you have a good time, you're a winner. So, for me, it's just I've been places that were scary, and this is a great thing. So I love it.
It shines through, and we appreciate your attitude out here, guys. Thank you so much or congratulations on silver medal, and we'll see you guys later. All right, guys, now we're going to see if we can get the gold medal winners over here. We've got Scott Moore and Yvonne Ting. All right, guys. Y'all step up here to the camera. Congratulations, first of all. The gold medal winners in the first annual World Pickleball Champions at the senior pro level. What's that feel like?
Well, it feels great. When you play with Scott Moore, you win.
That's true.
He's the beast. But we had a lot of fun, and we have a lot of good players here. I'm hoping that next year we get more. Then we can have our senior women's pro event. This year we didn't have one. That's unfortunate, but.
Yeah, we'll work on that for next year for sure. Scott, you're looking at going in 3 finals here at the World Pickleball Championship. This was the mixed doubles final. You guys went 3 games, and every game, I think it was 13-11, 12-10, 11-9. All of them were very close, came down to the wire. What did you guys do in game 3 there to pull out that game at the end?
Well, we knew we were just going to have to play our best pickleball because they are extremely tough, and we just slowed it down a little bit, a little more consistent, kept the ball in play as much as we could, waited for our opportunities, and Yvonne just stepped up. She just wouldn't go away, kept fighting, and we just hung in there long enough to get the gold.
I love it, guys. Congratulations on your gold medal, and you guys go enjoy it, and we'll see you guys later.
Thanks, Scott.
All right, guys. That was Scott Moore and Yvonne Ting taking the gold, and we'll be back to the live action soon.